Melanated family, how's everybody doing, man? This is your brother Harrison. I'm back for another rendition of the Melanated Convo podcast. On today's show, right? I've been doing my podcast for around a year and a half, 2 years now. When I first started, when I was just like in the audio space, before I was doing video or anything, one of the brothers that inspired me, one of the brothers that I reached out to, I have on the show with me today, author, podcast host, family man, new to fatherhood. You know what I mean? My brother Malcom X Bowser. How you doing today, Malcolm?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me back on, man. This is
Yes, sir.
exciting. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So first thing I want to cover with you, Malcolm, it's been maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years. Talk to me about everything that's been going on since you've been on the show last, bro.
So since I've been on the show last, I think it was almost 2 years to the day, almost.
Yep.
Close, right?
Yep.
I became a dad. My
Mhm.
son is 2. My son Noble, he's 2 years old. I just got engaged.
There you go.
So that's new. My podcast that I do with my dad that's grown tremendously. The merch line that we do, that's grown. I'm an author. That's my book is out. That's grown. Like kind of everything has just been like progressing so much since the last time we spoke. So actually,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a different person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what time will do to you, man.
Yeah.
Time, experiences, going through things. That's why I was like, you know what? Let me reach back out to this brother because the game you have now, the ingenuity, the wisdom, as you can see as you get older, it changes as your
Definitely.
experiences evolve. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So first, talk to me about like becoming a pops, man. Like first, wait. First, so Malcolm, how old are you, bro?
I'm 29.
29. So becoming a pops for the first time, how has that experience been?
Oh man, it's been like honestly, like I'll be like the greatest experience ever. Like I didn't think like you could love some like a human being like that much, like ever. You know, until I
Yeah.
had my son. I think like when he was born, I think I cried more than he was. To be honest with you. Like, I was just that happy. But it's been such a learning experience. It's taught me a lot of patience. It's taught me just a lot about perspective and like just life. You know what I'm saying? I never want to dwell on something for too long. I always want to see the positive in things as well. That's why, like, even just how how the world can get like really, really like doom and gloom. I feel like I don't have the luxury to even think like that because I have a little man to make sure he has a future here, and I can't afford to think negative. You know what I'm saying? So just for him specifically, so it's been an amazing experience watching him grow, him become like come into his personality and
Mhm.
things like that. He's 2 now, he'll be 3, so he is every bit of 2. Like he is me and his
Yeah.
mom, we are tired. You know what I mean? Like he is every
Yeah.
bit of 2, but it's been amazing.
Definitely. And shout out to the Urban X family, man. They in the building heavy. You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to you and your pops, man. What you guys do on your show is phenomenal. I know your father, comes from the conscious community and has had a say so in a lot of the things we've seen as far as the Black conscious underground community. Talk to me about working with your pops, man, and growing up with a father who was into our movement like that.
Oh man, so my dad is a trip, man. My dad's my hero. I don't know if you can tell, or anybody who can watch you can tell, but that is my guy. And it was different because our podcast is just an extension of what we do normally. Like those were our conversations growing up. Me, him, my siblings. That's just how we talk to each other. We talk about things that are going on. And once I like my senior year in college, when I was coming out, and I wanted to do something like entrepreneurial. So at first we started off, for the people who know, it was just him in front of the camera. I was behind the camera. I was lobbying him questions. He would answer them, and then slowly but surely, I got a little bit more comfortable just kind of hearing my own voice because that was new. Like for the people
Me too. Yeah.
who like when they want to start a podcast or YouTube channel, like you sometimes like you don't even like how your own voice sounds, or how you look on camera. So that was I had to get a little bit more comfortable with even just hearing my voice. So I got more comfortable with that. And then I started transitioning to in front of the camera, and then we created our podcast. So and just like the question you asked, like, how's it been working with him? It's been great, and it's been a learning experience. And what I've been teaching people lately, because like they see how I work with my pops, and they want to do the same thing with their family, and they want to know, like, how do you work? How was that like working with family? It takes work like anything else. You get what I'm saying? You have to understand somebody's temperament. You have to understand their work languages. Like, like 5 love languages. You have to understand those work languages as well, because in a family business capacity, you can get like really comfortable. Like, you don't really hold each other to task when you ask somebody to do something and they don't really get it done. It's like, that's my pops, or that's my stepmom, my sister, my brother. Like, you don't really take it serious. But if you want the business to be successful, you have to, transition a little bit. You have to get in that zone. And my pops, he had to sit me down like, yo, I'm your dad, but like when we like in between these lines of business, I'm your partner. So you have to like talk to me as your partner, hold me to task. If you ask me to do something, make sure I do it. So that's something that I've been learning.
Damn. And here's the thing too, Malcolm. When I first met you, there's the thing. I'm familiar with the conscious community and the different players, right? And I've seen your father. Now, when I first reached out to you, I didn't know who your pops was.
Okay.
So that was like an introduction to me, like, damn, right? But then I'm admiring the experience, bro, because I'm a 42-year-old black man, Malcolm, who didn't grow up with his pops like a lot of us. Right. And my dad died when I was 8. So the experience, like the exchange of father and son, right? Sometimes I'm watching because I'm like, I have 5 kids now. So throughout my journey of having 5 kids, I've tried my best to emulate fathers that I see that I like. I've tried my best to read and look up on things to make sure they know about our history. But I think it's just important to see you and your pops, because when I see y'all put like best father and son podcast, I'll be like, hell yeah. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. So writing a book like Urban Excellence highlighted, because I read the book, Urban Excellence highlighted individuals in our community that we can use for inspiration. Like, how important is that, right? Because a lot of our people, I at times being in this space, like, I'm not on no ratchet shit. I'm going to speak truth to power. I'm going to speak about our people. And sometimes I'm like, damn, is everybody catching on? You know what I mean? So the importance of highlighting individuals that can inspire our community, you never know who's listening. You know what I mean? So talk to me about your inspiration behind even writing a book of that form.
So that came about because me and my dad, like on the show, some of like our really early episodes, and I got to stay consistent with it now. I'll be completely honest with you, but we would like during the show we would have a segment, and it was called Urban Excellence segment, and we would just highlight somebody doing something dope within our community. It could be something like really small as somebody's niece opening up a lemonade stand on her corner, but we wanted to celebrate that because a lot of the images and what it really stemmed from, we were bothered at the idea of quote unquote Black excellence, because it was always a rapper, it was always a multi-millionaire, billionaire, stuff like that. And we were like, why is that considered excellence? Like, why does that always have to be considered excellence? People in like right next to us are doing amazing things, and they should be celebrated just as much. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's trying out here. So everybody deserves a fair shot to be celebrated and to feel like they are doing something excellent. So I wanted to write a book for years. Like, my dad's been an author. He wrote his first book in, I think, 2005. My mother's an educator. I wanted to write a book for years. And I remember I wrote a few things before, and like I was just never kind of really into it. I was just writing for the sake of saying I was writing a book. So I was never really into it. But once we started the podcast, it was just kind of like one of those things that just staring me like right in the face. It was like staring me right in the face. And I was just like, yo, I want to write. I want to interview people I went to college with, or I went to high school with, or people I know on amazing things that they're doing, because they're doing amazing things. And then I didn't even have a title for it for a while. And then I was just like, yo, Dad, I think urban excellence, like that should be the name of the book. And he was like, yo, it's right there. It's in your face. So that was like the real reason why I even wrote the book, titled it that way. And that was the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, and that's powerful because I've given it to people. And something I've learned about books, lectures, different point of views from different speakers. You never know who's listening. You never know who can grab a jewel from it. And people don't realize how, and you know, as you see now on social media and shit, like it's an overabundance of people telling you how to get rich and how to be successful. But generally, that's an understandable lane, because once somebody has done something, and really success, Malcolm, to me, bro, ain't really about the money you've amassed, but like a worthy mission that you're on and you see yourself making progress. To me, that's success. And after you've done that, you can kind of show people. So that's important. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So something I want to talk to you about too, because I see you and your dad doing the podcast thing. I do it too. You know what I mean? Talk to me about like the message you would have for people who approach you and say, hey, I want to do a podcast, Malcolm. Like in some people that approach you, Malcolm, I can tell they have a like an air of easiness about it. Like I could just cut on a damn microphone and get busy. What did you tell podcasters about the process it takes to actually produce something worthwhile?
So what a lot of people don't realize is that like 95% of podcasts don't make it past like episode 20. We've seen so many people start a podcast. We've even celebrated people starting a podcast. Like we were even said like, yo, this new podcast started, go check it out. And 5, 6, 7 episodes in, they're gone. It's because one, sorry, they don't understand the effort it takes, one, to actually get a quality podcast going. 2, they think it has to be perfect out the gate. 3, they think, you know, once it's up, people are just gonna flock to it and it's here. And then once they don't see growth like as fast as they want it, they kind of just like abandon it. And it takes like real consistency, just like with anything. Like if you're going to the gym, like, you know, the new year just started. If you're going to the gym, whatever you're doing, it takes consistency. Like it really takes a focused effort. And podcasting specifically, like I said, a lot of people don't make it past episode 20. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like they try to emulate what somebody else is doing, right? So they see like Joe Budden, or they see you know, Gilly and Wallow, like, and they try to get the same topics and they try to, you know, emulate that style. And if it's not something like you're truly passionate about, if you can't talk about something by yourself, 20 to 30 minutes by yourself, then you're not really into it and you're gonna run out of steam. And once it gets hard, just like anything, once it gets hard and that discipline has to kick in, if you're not passionate about something, it's not gonna go really very far.
That's what I tell everybody, bro. And what people don't realize, because I equate what we do to other creative Black endeavors. Like I think about hip hop, for example, right, Malcolm? I know a lot of artists, bro, who they will tell you, when I first started rapping, I sounded like Rakim. When I first started rapping, I took so-and-so's flow, right? This is the same shit, bro. You may get into this by watching people, but like you just said, the worst thing you can do when getting started with anything is stopping.
Yeah.
You keep going, you build your voice. It's a learning process, but sometimes it get ugly, Malcolm, because like you were saying.
Yeah, if you watch our like first like 50 episodes, I was like a deer in headlights up there, and I really leaned on my dad because he's just a real personal like dude. Like he just, you know, my dad is just him. I had to like really lean on him for a lot of those episodes because like I would just like freeze, you know what I'm saying? And I totally wasn't comfortable. I didn't really get comfortable, I'll be honest, maybe like around episode 100. And that's saying a lot. Like we didn't start doing 2 episodes a week for a while, but sometimes it could take that long. You get what I'm saying? And
Yep.
people don't want they want something like really, really quick, and they don't want to do that type of work to kind of figure it out, to kind of like get their voice, get their perspective, and kind of just get their own style. They just want everything like really, really quick. We've done the last episode we did was episode 350.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Oh, your dad said he carried you. Hey, but that's important though, to admit that, because that's that space. Because I know, bro, we know how it is in the hood sometimes. People are very talented. Basketball player. The brother can draw. The brother has an eye for fashion. But many of our people, and just people in general, Malcolm, they fall short because they stop. Because right, it's regular life. I gotta work. I created a family for myself. I may have a few habits, God damn it, you know what I mean? So I have to work all these things out while still being creative. And some of my friends be telling me like, hey, bro, I want to do something of this magnitude. I say, the first thing I ask people when they want to be creative, because sometimes I don't like talking about it. My homeboys, yeah, but other people, I'm like, hey, what do you do in your free time? How do you treat your free time? Is your free time like all yours? Like you want to just encapsulate it and do nothing but watch TV and relax and eat? You're going to have to change that state of mind. Your free time, if you have to work, if you want to be creative or do something worthwhile after work, you actually going to have to put time into whatever it is. And a lot of the hours I spend editing videos, Malcolm, and reaching out to people and correcting things and doing all this, is administrative work, bro. That's the hard part. This hour and a half with these lights and shit, that's the fun part. But it's a lot that goes into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the boring work. You have to learn how to like the boring work, as weird as that may sound, because the boring work, those days where like things don't feel like they're moving, where things don't feel like they're moving as fast enough, that's where a lot of ground gets covered. Like strangely enough, and a lot of people just kind of miss that. You know what I mean?
Yep, and that's important. Somebody in the comment said you've grown tremendously, and that's a beauty, because we're looking at ourselves, Malcolm, from this rigid standpoint, where I'm looking at my voice, because look, bro, I stuttered up until the age 19. I stuttered, Malcolm. So you said your first 100 episodes, you was a little leery, bro. My first 150, I would do the show and then hear it back, about to sweat, thinking I'm about to stutter. Like, nah, nigga, you was there. You know you didn't stutter, but it's just the fear, because you don't hear your voice. In the first, and people in my family, I get in their car and they have my show and I'm like, cut it off.
Right, yeah. Like it took a while for me to listen back. Like, man, like I don't. But you get used to it. I was telling somebody the other day that weirdly enough, that because we do our show live, I'm super comfortable live. But when I have to like pre-record something, I freeze up still.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Like I'm still working on that, right? But doing the show live, like right now, like it's just what it is. Like we've done 350 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just used to that. It's like muscle memory at this point.
Yeah.
But when I have to like pre-record something or film something, like I feel like I have to be perfect, and like I'm still working through that. So I've been trying to tell people that it's always a work in progress. You always need to kind of like work on your craft. You always need to practice. Like it's never gonna come out like perfect ever.
Yeah. And you have to keep going. And because I think when looking at our community, Malcolm, and the amount of us who've had generational wealth and individuals in our family who've been tremendously successful with things, sometimes we have to realize we may be first, second generation. Like me personally, bro, my pops, like I said, died today. No dudes in my family, a lot of them took the street route and had to do things that way. When we talk about corporate business, because I know a lot of street businessmen, you know what I mean? But when we talk in corporate business, taxes, LLCs, all this stuff, a lot of people in our family may not be keen to this environment. So you putting yourself out there may change the trajectory of your future. You know what I mean?
Right, definitely. Like my son, like if he decides, like, you know, when he gets older that he wants to go into any business, I'll have some type of framework. That like I can pass down to him from me, his my brothers, so his uncles, my friends, my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like we are like in the process of creating a different future for him, like as we speak. And I always think like that's exciting.
That's definitely exciting, and you have to be aware of it. I like the fact that you're, because you 29, bro. When I was 29, I was, I definitely wasn't on no damn podcast yet.
Yeah.
But that's why I appreciate everything you're doing, because because I see y'all show. Y'all think just like me. We don't like police brutality. We don't like any of the white supremacy we see. We don't like, and some of it now is damn near laughable, but we don't like these things. But how are you going to change it for the futures to come? Some of my people online, I appreciate the input and the empathy and the fact that you tuning in, but I want you to go from listening and understanding, then to reading, then to take your own personal journey to help us out, because they don't have to be podcasting. You can go pick up trash in the neighborhood you came from. You can go start a boys and girls club. There's a lot of shit you could do on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
and that's something that we all have to be aware of, bro. So
before
we get off these topics, tell me, for like writing the book, the process of doing that. Talk to me about the difficulty of that, because to me, that's just like the podcasting. That's a lot of sitting alone, writing this process out. Talk to me about that process.
So that was tough. Like I said, I've written like, that was like, my book was like my like 4th or 5th attempt at trying to write a book, right? And writing a book is one of like the hardest things you can do, because it takes, again, just days behind a blank screen, sometimes like hours behind a blank screen, and it doesn't come to you. You can take all the notes, you can have all like everything prepared in your mind, but sometimes like the words just don't come to you. And one of the ways I kind of got past that is I just adopted the mindset that today I would hit a word count, right? It'll be 2,500 words, whatever it is. I'm going to hit that word count no matter what, no matter if it sounds good, no matter if it sounds really, really bad. I'll come back to it. That's what editing is for, right? So like I had to be like really, really disciplined. And I had to be like almost obsessed with just writing every day. You got like you have to do it. Like now, like there are like ways that you can kind of circumvent that a little bit. You can kind of talk out your book, get it transcribed, edit it. Those are certain ways a lot of people do it, but I just kind of wanted to be as traditional as I could, even though we self-publish. I wanted to be able to say I wrote these words.
Man,
I got behind the computer every day.
Yeah, because there's a lot of books out there written, everybody, that the actor or rapper he didn't really write.
Like sometimes that name below their name is
the actual fucking writer. Yeah.
That book. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be like really, really disciplined in just making sure you write something, right? And then that effort compounds, right? So if you making sure you write 2,500 words or 1,000 words a day, and then it turns into 2,500, it turns into 3,000. No matter how, it just compounds. You get what I'm saying? And then once that happens, you get a real momentum. Then what I did, just a little tip for people, I treated every chapter as its own project. So what I did, like every chapter, I created a new Word doc, because if you have a word goal in your head, say it's 50,000 words, whatever your goal is, right? And this Tuesday at 10 o'clock, you only see 5,000 words there. You feel like you are so far away from your goal that it can either be really discouraging, and when things become discouraging, like I said, it becomes really easy to fall back into old habits and not do what you need to do. So creating a separate Word doc for each chapter, you say your word goal for each chapter is 5,000 words, and you have 2,500, and you're making sure you hit 2,500 a day. I just finished another chapter, right? And then you just keep moving in. And then once you're done, you combine everything, and you see everything, super expand, and you add 45,000 words, 50,000 words, and you're done. You know what I'm saying? That's something like I had to trick myself. You get what I'm saying? That's something you could use in your process if you're trying to write a book.
But check it out, family. Everybody listening to the sound of my voice. And again, shout out to the Urban X family that's in the building. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the Melanated Convo. The show tomorrow morning, the show will be on all the digital platforms as well. But what the brother Malcolm is pretty much saying, discipline first. When you discipline yourself, you're going to create little strategic ways to act out the discipline. Because what you said makes all the sense in the world. Because, bro, we be on social media doing our business and shit. It's a trick for everything. Want to lose weight? You want to clean your colon? You want to make some money overnight? You want to do some Instagram shit? Everything is there. But what people are not saying with everything, any type of diet plan, new life regimen, it's discipline, bro.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts and ends. That's like, and I'm not going to get up here and act like I'm the most disciplined. I'm not going to act like I am betting 1,000. I struggle. I struggle sometimes too, and I have to like kind of, identify that, pick myself back up, and kind of get back on the horse as well. And I think everybody does it. So I think it really depends on how fast you can recover. So if you fall off, how fast can you get back up, right? And what a lot of people do, what I struggle with, just again, the tip, we started the new year. A lot of people, they have their New Year's resolutions and things like that, and they have their thing like, I'm gonna hit the gym, this many times, and then they miss a day, and then that day turns into 2, that day turns into 3, and then they go, all right, Monday I start right back up, and it's Tuesday, so you waiting, 6 days to get back to the next. No, start Wednesday. You get what I'm saying? Like start Thursday, start your goal in the middle of the week. You know what I'm saying? Because that just kind of trains your brain to get back to it, and not put it off and wait. Like how people are. I'm gonna start at the end of the month. You know what I'm saying?
Procrastination is the enemy to us all, bro.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be learning, like my wife, she's real urgent. Like everything is right now. Everything she needs to happen, she treats the shit like if she don't do it now, the world's gonna be over. And it frustrates me like hell, right? But I'm like, wait a minute, there's powerfulness in that. Most things need to happen now. Like, think about this. Why are you waiting for tomorrow morning? What's gonna happen tomorrow morning that you can't do right now? You know what I mean?
Seriously. And my pops, he gets on me all the time because like I try to have my life as structured as possible. But like the entrepreneur life, like it's really not like that. And I'm a dad now, you know what I'm saying? So like I have to work around my son's schedule, my lady. I have to like kind of find my pockets. Like right now, it's like you're in the West Coast. It's 10:23 right now, right? I just had to do some videos. I have to be up tonight. I have to even after this podcast, I have to keep doing work, because if I put it off tomorrow, then my lady got to go to work. My son, he's a handful. So it'll be pushed to Thursday and Friday, and I'm gonna just do it tonight. You get what I'm saying?
Nope, that's the best. That's the best way to do it, Malcolm. And you have to train yourself.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I know young men that were around me who were just disciplined and they stuck to their word. That was a certain type of young dude, regardless of his lifestyle. Me, I wasn't like that. So I have to train myself on how to be disciplined. I had to train myself on a lot of stuff. And it's quiet moments like this isn't going to be exciting. These moments where you're teaching yourself this stuff, it's not going to be on Instagram. Ain't nobody going to see it. It has to be internal. Everybody be looking for help outside of themselves a lot. Like our Black culture, our society with religion, a lot of stuff we do is like somebody outside of me help me. But nah, you got to look yourself in the mirror. Now, something I want to get on. Before we get out of here, bro, I'm going to touch on some stuff that happened last year. So I'm going to mention the name of the individual for last year, because I know you be doing this just like me. I'm going to mention the name, and we just going to go. All right?
So, do it.
First name, in no particular order.
Okay.
Herschel Walker.
Oh, my God. Herschel Walker. So,
what do you think, bro? What do you think?
I feel like the Republican Party, it's crazy how they just kind of parade him out there to embarrass himself. Like, it's just like, dude, like it's hard to watch. Like, regardless of his politics, even if I agree with him, which I don't, but it's just like really hard to watch him out there. And somebody who is respected in his profession, he was just, as a football player, he was respected. So for him to really just kind of destroy his legacy, embarrassing himself like this, it's hard to watch, man.
You know what? Something else, because I'm gonna get on his ass in a minute. But something I thought about, Malcolm, like, because we look at football in this CTE thing and how we seeing these players killing themselves. We seeing and me personally, my words, I think it's a very high level of CTE if you've been playing a lot of years, but it may not be like you want to kill yourself or you want to harm somebody. It could be forgetting. It can be headaches. It could be rambling like this damn idiot. Like,
yeah, it's just like, dude.
My homeboy was telling me about something. They asked Herschel Walker about women, like, hey, women's rights and things, different things going on with women. In this brother's response, I'm like, that was incoherent. And Trump calling them his Hershey and all this shit. So they wheel out certain black folks.
It's to the point, like, I don't know if like the Republican Party even like wants him. They're like, oh, they're just trying to make a fool. They're just trying to make a show. Like, I'm just not even like sure at this point with him.
And it's sad to see because I used to be hell on all levels of politics. Like, these motherfuckers ain't gonna help us. Let's get it together ourselves. Now I'm realizing politics is a necessary evil. Like, but we need to have the right people in these positions.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have that tokenism, bro.
Yeah.
They do it regardless of the situation. They gonna pull one out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Herschel Walker. He's a
he lost. Yeah,
that's a character right there.
A caricature. You're damn right. All right. So next name, but if it's too controversial, you don't have to speak on it. But I just want to get your immediate thoughts about it.
Oh boy.
R. Kelly.
Oh man. Okay. So, all right, R. Kelly. All right. What would you like? What would you like want to know? My like
your opinion on that the entire thing. You can back up from it and just look at the entire thing. The fact that we knew about this, the fact that we knew about Aaliyah, the fact that he wrote songs about what he was doing, the fact that there was a tape out, Lifetime released it was a culmination of things that brought him to where he is now. You think that was fair? Like 30 years?
So I was born in 93. Right? So I just kind of know him for like just growing up, right? Just like I Believe I Can Fly with Space Jam. I had to sing in the 5th grade graduation. I remember the Chocolate Factory album that came out like 03. I remember when that came out. I remember the rumors, right? I remember like, the P thing, Dave Chappelle me, and it was just always odd to me because growing up, everybody just kind of knew it and accepted it, moved on, right? Like that's just kind of how I remember that, growing up. So when everything kind of resurfaced and it felt like this was all happening at the same time, like people were just kind of going back in time and going, time out, that was wrong. We need to get you now. All fair. Like I think, women and children, when somebody victimizes anybody, I think completely wrong.
Yep.
If the only thing that's bothered me about that was the agendas, the kind of personal agendas that a lot of people were kind of putting in place and using R. Kelly as a kind of stepping stone for whatever political career they wanted.
Yeah. Yep.
I see that with and now 2023, like you kind of just see that with a lot of things. Like you question somebody's motive behind doing this when a lot of artists were working with him. There's a lot of artists who are working with him, and they try to just kind of erase him,
distance themselves. Yeah,
he's written a lot of songs for a lot of people. He's featured on a lot of songs. He's produced a lot of music, and then when and people like Charlemagne, he likes to do these retroactive, like he tries to do these things where like R. Kelly, that album wasn't really that good. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was. You don't have to agree with what he did. You don't have to agree with anything of his lifestyle, but to act like his music wasn't like what it was.
Yeah, come on now. R. Kelly is the greatest R&B singer of my generation.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like the versus battles and stuff like that, when they try to talk like who would win, I'm just like, listen, Robert Kelly would destroy a lot of people on that stage if you really wanted to be honest. But a lot of people they don't want to be honest. They want to act like they've always known this about R. Kelly and they've always taken a hard stance against it when it probably benefited them. He probably benefited them in some way.
They didn't. You know, real quick, that reminded me of Martin Luther King.
Revisionist history. Thank you, J Nightman.
Revisionist history. You goddamn right. Looking at Martin Luther King Day reminds me of that. It's always like a bittersweet with Black folks because I see the history of someone. I don't like nefarious behavior or any of this, but I'm not going to take away your greatness. Martin Luther King, I try to post stuff on his birthday about not the I had a dream speech. Like some old folks be hitting me, Malcolm, talking about Martin Luther King's Day and how I should talk about it more. And people don't realize when he died, which his daughter posted, when he died, a lot of people wasn't fucking with him. A lot of people wasn't messing with Martin like that. Like
right.
At all. You know what I mean?
Like,
so don't act like now.
The official FBI Twitter account posts about Martin Luther King Day. I'm just like, dude, like, come on.
That's almost like a slap in the face.
Yeah, don't play with our intelligence, man. Like, come on, man.
You know what I mean? That's almost like the same thing with R. Kelly to me. What he did, having sex with an underage girl in America is wrong. But I would be remiss not to mention the normalcy of it. Malcolm, when I was in 8th grade, 9th grade, right? Young girls used to get picked up by dudes in nice cars.
Yeah, and
they were 14, 16, you know what I mean? Young like that. That's not an excuse. And he should be reprimanded. But the Lifetime series, to me, like I seen a propaganda wave come. That came, then boom, 30 years. Does a man need help? Yes. Does he need to reconcile for some of the things he's did? Yes. But 30 years when we all knew who's to blame. And then some of these young girls, just to be honest, if he's taking advantage of a young girl, let's create a punishment mechanism. But if your mama dropped you off.
Yeah, that's a piece of the conversation a lot of people want to avoid as well. Like, there are a lot of people who damn near sold their kids to R. Kelly for the possibility of, fame and fortune, and either trying to get him caught up with something or trying to get them a record deal or something like that as well. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's something that nobody wants to speak about as well.
See, and I see people who used to rock with me. R. Kelly come on in the car, they rocking with me. They love it like I love it.
I went to my great aunt's birthday party. She turned 90, and R. Kelly came on, and nobody made a face. Nobody wanted to look weird. Everybody danced. Everybody stepped in the name of love. See? A lot of the reactions is really online. It's online, and it's right. It's grandstanding. It's virtue signaling. Like, see, I'm such a good person. I don't listen to R. Kelly anymore.
I'm such a good person, and so many people was around me, and I can tell. I have the song on, Malcolm. We chilling in front of a pool, chilling, drinking. The song come on. They looking around like, why are you playing this? I'm like, okay, stop with the runaway slave shit, man. Yeah. If you support this man, support him, but have the conversation. Yeah, what he did was wrong. I have granddaughters now. For 20-something-year-old man took my granddaughter to his house.
Exactly.
We pulling up. I don't care how hard the beat is.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't care how good of a producer is.
Yeah.
Bring my goddamn granddaughter, because I'm wondering whose daddy pulled up to his house with the shotgun. Do we have stories of somebody daddy pulling up like, where my daughter at?
Exactly.
Now, Robert.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So come on with the shit. All right. Next name, right? Meg the Stallion.
Oh man, Meg the Stallion. Okay. So when that story broke with her and Tory, when that story broke, me and my pops said, immediately we said, all right, something's not right here. Just something's not right. And me personally, I don't know if I was shooting Tory too much better, but I said, I just don't see him taking a gun out and shooting this girl. I just don't get that. He was just on top of the world with the pandemic, lockdown radio, whatever he was calling it. He had just signed a deal with YouTube. He had just gotten his master's back. I'm like, yo, to take a gun out and shoot this girl, it didn't make sense to me.
Me neither. Yep.
So I'm like, it just did not make sense to me. So the story, and then more details will come out in the story. Again, I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. So my original theory, which I think still happened, my original theory, Meg and Tory, I think they got into it. I think the best friend and Meg got into it. And I think the best friend, allegedly, so alleged, this is just my theory. I think she's the one who pulled out the gun or got the gun from the bike. And I think her and Tori were wrestling for it. And I think it went off a couple of times. And then it skid and hit her foot. That's just kind of what I thought. I mean, just hearing the scenario, that's just what made the most sense to me.
Yeah, and then when it comes out that Tori gets proven guilty, people, because I did a show about this and I didn't say she was lying. I just said, what if? Because I love my black women. Come on now, my woman black, my mama black. This is what I do. But I don't like when men get railroaded just by a woman's words. So I wasn't saying she was lying, but I said, let me just sit back. And then all the conflicting information and shit coming out, I'm like, I don't know. This is like a lover's quarrel. I don't know. But, if he did shoot her, I mean, little man's complex. I think this is like a prime example of a 5'4", 5'5" man busting some shots if it's true. But his dad, because I'll be remiss not to mention this. His dad seemed very convincing and empathetic in his interview at the end when he was talking and everybody said, oh, his dad's yelling, he must have shot her. I'm like, no, it sounds like a man that may have seen injustice in the court system. And if we black, just because it's a black woman, don't mean there can't be some type of injustice in the court system. He mentioned Rock Nation and how the powers that be could have put some stuff in play to make this woman innocent. But I don't want to shit on her. If he really shot her, that's our sister. We should always protect black women, but critical thought shouldn't be frowned upon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what I also want to point out as well is what he got found guilty of and what the people were arguing online with two different things. Or not two different things, but it's meaning, right? We were arguing, did Tori shoot Meg? Right? Did he pull out a gun and shoot Meg? He got found guilty of negligent discharge of a weapon, something to that effect. So the gun going off, he got found gunpowder on him. The girl, Kelsey, the best friend, she got amnesty, so she can't get found guilty on anything, right? I think assault with the deadly weapon. I just pointing a gun at somebody is assault. And it was something else. So what we were arguing and what people in the stories we were getting from the courtroom and what was actually happening in the courtroom were two different things. Again, we're looking at, did Tori pull out a gun and shoot Meg? And then they're just looking at the evidence that's presented with what they need to find him guilty of.
Yep.
And that's where it kind of that's where the disconnect was. But what always upsetted me about this case is that it immediately turned into black men versus black women. Immediately. Yep. And once that happens, people just hear blindness. They don't want to hear nothing, regardless of what side you're on. Like, you just don't want to hear nothing contrary to what you already are trying to believe about the opposite sex. And you're projecting how you feel about black women onto Meg, and you're projecting how you feel about black men onto it. It was just
And I remember talking about that situation, and it was around the time the thing with Kevin Samuels happened. And I was on the same ilk, like critical thought is okay. Somebody's expressing their opinion about how they feel about stuff, as Kevin Samuels was doing. My whole point at that time was, let's give everybody an equal playing field to speak. We understand that we need to protect women, but sometimes women play on this level of protection, and that's fair. Protect, you know what I mean? So we need to be aware of that, family. And so shout out to that sister. I hope she gets better and everything works out for her. But we gonna critically look at shit. You know what I mean? We're not gonna make it a thing where we can't critically examine something, even if it's a woman. They're not beyond reproach. You know what I mean?
Listen, I feel like anybody that discourages you from just asking questions is really not to be trusted. Like,
ain't that something?
And that's with anything. Like, you can read between lines of what I'm talking about. Anybody that really wants you to disregard your common sense and just ask regular questions is not to be trusted.
Yeah, definitely. So all these things we need to talk about, and I'm doing better, Malcolm, at making sure, because I want to be on code, right? So I don't want to speak ill about any of my people, but I think I can have a perspective. Now, if you're a coon, if you do something too out of bounds, we gotta reprimand you. I'm trying to get better at that shit, but it's hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, like even that, like when people say like, gotta stay on code. Like there's some people within our community who like, yo, we got to talk about this. Like, yo, what's up? And then now you speaking against a black brother. Then nothing gets solved, and we don't move forward if we cannot talk. If I cannot ask you a simple question, yo, what's this? Yes. Yo, explain that.
Yes,
I can't ask you questions, and it's under the guise of me staying on code. Again, I can't rock with you.
Yeah, because one of the best examples I have of staying on code and accomplishing the mission is 1804, when these Haitian brothers overthrew the French and all these white armies. One of the biggest things they did first, like before they went and fought anybody, they said, "Wait a minute, where are all the coons? Where are all the people in our community who are on the fence? If we don't do something with them, then this whole war we trying to fight is going to be for nothing." So that's powerful. I'm not, you know what I mean? So we need to think about how we actually strategize and do these things. Okay, so last thing before we go, Malcolm, here in California, because I'm in California, I've done several shows about this. There's a reparations commission that's been established, several meetings. They've done a lot of good work here in California. What's your idea when you hear black folks in reparations? What's some of the first things you think?
So first, I think black people in this country deserve reparations, right? That's flat out. I think now the term reparation is become a little bastardized in the fact that I feel like there's some people who are actually fighting for reparations and who we should actually get behind and work with, right? But I think there are people who bring up reparations just to argue and just to kind of, create topics to argue about with people. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like, there's certain people you shouldn't talk about reparations, don't talk to them about it. Like, they shouldn't even be on your radar. Like, you should have blinders onto them. Like, okay, you wouldn't even be getting reparations. We don't need to hear from you. It shouldn't be a thing. But there are people who bring it up, and I feel like it's just to kind of argue. You get what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
So like that's a little like tricky for me at this point. Just now, just taking into account like now where we are when it comes to the conversation. But I do think we are owed reparations in this country. I do think, and at the same time, I'll be completely honest with you. I do think there will be a population of black people who give the money right back.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yes.
I think if like the rich people will get richer, like the people who are already in top, they will get way richer because there are people within our community who don't have financial literacy.
Yes.
Who still have the mindset, the real childish mindsets about, trying to floss on the next person and things like that. And money will, the money won't be put to good use. But again, your money is your money. Like, you do it as you please, but that's still my opinion. And what else? Like, what else about reparations?
I feel the same way, Malcolm. And I think that because I know, there's going to be a lot of gold chains sold. There's going to be a lot of Balenciaga. You feel me? There's going to be a lot of vacations, but
things can be very true.
This money, nobody said shit to the Indians. You gave the Indians the money, and some of them is in squalor, getting drunk, whatever. Give us our money, and I know black people who are going to take that money and do something progressive. So I'm looking at more of the positive side of it. But we are definitely owed the money. Some people think it's a long shot. I'm for it, but like you mentioned, like the critical thought thing we were saying a few minutes ago, all of our movements are going to have that. We're going to have agent provocateurs. Oh, man. We're going to have individuals who aren't genuine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, when people, and I've learned this like really early. No, I would say within like the past like 7 years, right? Every movement, right? Every black movement that's started foundationally want the same thing.
Yes.
Right? We all just kind of want the same thing. But everybody has their own ideals on how we need to get it, on strategies, on tactics, and we're never all going to agree. That is that is like a dream. And the people, in my opinion, who are pushing all black people need to get together, all black people need to agree on this, all black people need to stay on this code that you have, your personal code, whatever it is. I don't think you are actually trying to get change. I think you are trying to start your platform, and I think you are trying to move your own agenda.
Definitely.
The people who I truly respect, the people within their community are making a little different. Whatever in our ocean, if you're making your little ripple happen, like, you know, you flick it and your little ripple happen, I totally respect that, because it has to start from what you can control first.
Yes.
Right? It starts, nation building starts at home. You get what I'm saying?
Charity starts at home like a motherfucker. We all know that.
It starts at home. So with my dad, with me, with my son, and it starts like, you know what I'm saying? It starts with our little tribe, and then your little tribe, and then your little tribe, and then we all meet somewhere in the middle with wherever that middle is. You get what I'm saying? We all want the same things, but we all just have different ideas on how to go about it. There's black people who are foundationally black Americans or American descendants of. Those are two groups who want reparations who don't agree. Right there.
Don't agree. Yep. I see that a lot. And I see, because I'm old enough now, Malcolm, so I'm able to listen to a black man speak and separate his personality damn near from his message. And that may sound weird, but I see he may be going at other black men online. And I don't like that. But I heard him say something, or I've heard him do so, or I see them do something that I agree with. So we got to learn how to separate the two and point out like who fraudulent amongst us. But a question that I wanted to answer that was really important to me, J Nightmare 3, one of your supporters, Malcolm, asked, like, what would be some of the rules of the code? What I would say, because Malcolm was just saying, we're not a monolith. That's basically what he was saying. You got black folks who believe this, you got black folks who believe that. I think there needs to be a general commonality with how we see black folks, like supporting black businesses, giving all black people the benefit of the doubt, understanding the need to create institutions inside of black communities. So I see sometimes black folks have a hard time in their hood. They go to college, they become a lawyer, spent hella years doing it. They separate themselves from their family and everyone in that community. And now it's almost a disdain because of how hard they had to work to get there. I think we can't be hardened by our success. We always have to see, okay, I need to give back in a way that's not going to be detrimental to my family and everybody around me, but I have to be able to make some sort of sacrifice. And it's simple. It's just loving black folks, bro. Starting with that. When I see Kanye do something, when I see Herschel, all these people, even if you a coon, I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to give information about what's going on. But if any of these individuals, I had their number, if I had the ability to talk to them personally, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to say, we on the same team, but I got a job to do. So we on the same team, but I may have to go speak and say something, but I'm going to come back to you and we're going to do it together because we're on the same team. You feel me?
Yeah. And here's the thing, because of now, like social media and things like that, you're almost incentivized to take the wildest stands, right?
So, very much so.
You know what I'm saying? So like black man gets killed, and because you want, you know, you're trying to build your platform, you're trying to get your views up, you go, yo, he deserved that, right? And then you put that in the timeline. I mean, you put that in the title of the video and the thumbnail, and then you got and you got people watching, you got thousands of people watching, and you become a slave to your character. That's what a lot of it is coming down to. A lot of the fights that you see happening online, these are people who are slaves to their online characters now.
And damn, that's a good point, bro, because I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I want to grow and get the biggest fan base possible so I can be influential and help my people. But everything is pure. And bro, Malcolm, I don't have a caricature, bro. I'm not going to talk louder. I'm not going to diss somebody because it'll get me followers, because then I got to keep doing it. See, people don't realize you do some shit that's not you.
Yeah. Listen, my pop said the same what did he say? He said the same way used to obtain is the same thing you have to do to maintain, right? So if I'm always fighting with somebody, I'm always starting beef, but I am, fighting for my people. I keep having to get my message drowned out because I always have to argue with somebody. I always have to pick a fight with somebody to garner our attention. And I have to, once that dials down, I have to pick somebody else. I got to get a new target now. That always happens. And my one rule, me and my pops, one rule is we don't go back and forth with people.
Makes sense.
We don't go back and forth. We've had many people try to throw out the bait, and we see it, and we just ignore it, and we make fun of it. That's what we do too. We joke on everybody. Like, we joke. You know what I'm saying? And some people take it seriously. Some people see it for what it is, but we're not gonna go back and forth with you.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't go back and forth because if your ultimate goal is to empower, then do that. Because me personally, Malcolm, like on people, white supremacists and people who don't like what I talk about, black folks, they come at me all the time. And I guess if it's a respectable conversation, I'll engage because I think it may be a teachable moment. But I have to feel that vibe because there's so much stuff going on online that you never know.
There's people who like to argue for the sake of arguing. Right? They don't want to hear anything you have to say. They just disagree with you. You are the person that they're disagreeing with. Nothing that you said, or you could have the most logical point, but they're just not trying to hear it. It's just you. That's the problem.
You see what I'm saying? And I mean, I know my growth as a man, and being 42 now, I'm better now. So if I would have started this in my 20s, I don't know if I would be able to hold off people calling me nigger and saying all kind of slick shit. I would want to pop off.
My pops, like, sometimes, like, I'll see a comment and my pops, Malcolm, don't say nothing. I'm looking at the comment like, oh my God. Oh man. But you just sometimes gotta ignore it. And I'm getting better at just kind of seeing it for what it is and ignoring, like, all right, man, whatever.
Yeah, but you human, and there's so many trolls online because I tell my kids, even like online, if I respond to somebody, if I comment, if I say anything, I treat every interaction like we standing right in each other's face. If I won't say it to you right in your face, I'm not gonna say it to you online because people be talking greasy online. I'm like, okay, bro, if we was in it. No man has ever spoken to me that way. That's why a lot of people I see who are very famous online, people will be asking them, well, you're controversial. What happens when people see you in public? They say nothing because the internet is not like real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people on the internet, they don't really want that smoke like you think. You know what I mean? So, Brother Malcolm, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. We not gonna make this the last time, brother. I definitely appreciate it. So do me a favor and talk about what you got coming up next.
So, like mentioned before, I got the podcast for my pops, Urban X TV, the Urban X podcast. You can listen to us anywhere podcasts are. We have our membership for our live podcast. You can join. It's $5 a month or $50 for the entire year. urbanx.nyc is the website. We have our merch at shopurbanx.com. Got some dope, hoodies, hats, and things like that. I have my book, Urban Excellence, Unveiling Extraordinary Stories by Everyday People. You can get that on Amazon. And I just launched my new podcast, The Black Family Business. That's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. I just released the first episode last week. And again, I don't want my past victories to defeat me, like Bane said in Batman, right? So I know I've been consistent with the podcast for my pops, but this podcast I'm doing on my own, and I just have to be consistent. So that's the first episode, and I'm taking it week by week, day by day, being consistent with that. And yeah, that's what I have for right now. I have some other stuff that I'm working on, but that's really what it is for right now.
Brother, I see you growing.
Thank you so much.
I've been following your story and everything you're doing. We need young brothers who are on the right path, and that may sound corny to a degree, but we got way too much shit going on in our community. And young brothers who are doing the right thing can be the necessary tool for inspiration. So anytime you got something new, you can come back. I'm gonna have you back more just so we can chop it up.
Let me know, man. You know what I mean? And for the people, my bad, man. I put the wrong time. I was thinking 7 Eastern time. He was 7 Pacific. My bad, y'all. So,
hey, and some of your subscribers is giving you shit, man. They said you getting married, right?
Oh man, listen, man. We're working on it. 2024.
2024, you getting that thing together. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. All the Urban X subscribers, I thank you guys for showing up the way you have for this, brother. Please subscribe to the Melanated Convo, man, on YouTube. We do this type of thing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm on all the digital platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The show's on Facebook as well. So everywhere you can find podcasts, you can find this show. My Instagram is at melanatedconvo100. So everybody, please, send a shout out to the brother Malcolm, man, for continuing to be a young brother that's inspiring, man. Because real quick, Malcolm, what I always tell everybody, a lot of us, we can just use our degree. We can just use what we went to school for or use our expertise. We can just go get a job. Like, we ain't got to spend time empowering nobody. We can go do businesses that ain't involving black folks and make a shitload of money. But it's like, nah, we need to do this with our people. So I appreciate what you and your pops is doing, brother.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. Brother Malcolm X Bowser Harrison, man, this has been another great one. We out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good night.